If you are a beginner Swahili learner, or you've been doing it for a while and you still are not where you want to be, this video is going to be for you. We're going to be talking about the one thing that you might be doing that is stalling your progress and what you can do instead. Hi, my name is Karen, and I am the creator of the Learn Swahili Now on-demand platform. And I coach busy Swahili learners just like you how to achieve Swahili fluency using as little time as possible, because as we all know, we do not have the whole day to study Swahili, okay? So let's get back to our video. And in the next 3 minutes, I'm going to show you the one thing that you might be doing wrong that's not helping you make the progress that you want to see, all right? So stay with me and I'll pull up my whiteboard. Okay, so what's the one thing that most people do when they start learning a language? Well, if you're like most of us, what we do is we learn a lot of vocabulary, okay? And to be fair, there's nothing wrong with that. But what happens when you have acquired, let's say you've spent the last month or so learning everything from cat to dog to all the things that you think you need to know to be able to make progress. Well, now you have all of these words that are not going to really help you get to the next level. And why is that? Because you do not know what to do with them. And so what most people end up doing is they double down on learning even more vocabulary because they're thinking, I guess the only reason that I am not making progress or I can't seem to remember these things is because I don't have enough words. So they double down, they go to Duolingo, they go to YouTube and learn even more phrases. But guess what? Another month goes by and they're still not where they need to be. Does this sound familiar? Have you done this at any particular point? Well, I can tell you that I have done this, and this is one of the reasons that when I started learning language initially, I started with Arabic actually started with Chinese. And the only thing I remember from Chinese is how to say beer. I think it was pinyin or something like that. And then I went to French, and then I noticed a pattern. I was still learning all of these words, but I could never quite learn how to put them together. Now, so I definitely understand the allure of trying to learn those words as quickly as possible so that you can get to speaking. But I promise you, if you do this, you will only stall. You will feel like you're making progress for the first 2 or 3 weeks, and then after that, you're going to stall. Now, what can you do instead? I am always a big fan of knowing the foundation, understand how the language works, and then when you learn those little words, guess what? You'll know how to do it. Now, I'm going to give you a brief demonstration right here. Okay, so the basic thing that you need to learn about Swahili, the Swahili verb in its simplest form is that you need to know who the subject is, you need to know when the action happened, and you need the action word, okay? So I'm going to prove to you that you don't need 100 words to be able to speak Swahili. You actually need a few words that are relevant to you and your day-to-day communication to be able to do that. So let's say you talk a lot about reading, okay? And then let's say you also talk a lot about cooking. Let's just use those 2 words. So we have reading, which is soma, and then we have pika. For our purposes, I'll just use these 2 words. And you need to know how to represent I in a verb. And in Swahili, it's always going to be ni. Okay, so anytime you see a word starting with an ni, you know that person is talking about themselves or you're talking about yourself. And let's use the present tense to make things easy. So that is subject, or the person that is doing the action, and then tense, when the action was happened, and that's going to be present tense. Is always represented by na. So these are constants. These are not going to change for you. So what we do here, and let's say we want to say, I am reading. So we simply take the ni, which is I, and then we simply affix the tense, na, and then we just grab our word here, soma. And just like that, you have learned how to say, I am reading. But the beauty about it is, you did not memorize the word itself, the phrase itself, I am reading. You simply learned how to put it together. Because here's the trick. Now, when you want to know how to say, I am cooking, you don't need to memorize Nina Pika. You simply need to go and look for your word and say, oh, I am simply going to replace the Pika. And there it is, Nina Pika. So you only focus on learning things that don't change, and then you can swap them all over the place. And this is how you make progress. You learn the fundamentals. Most people turn their noses up at learning quote unquote grammar, but grammar is not a bad word. Grammar is simply the framework within which you understand the language. So if you have been doing just learning vocabulary, it's okay. What you can do now is move to the next level of just learning the fundamentals of a language, and then using those, the words that you have learned so far, to be able to make the progress that you need. So a call to action for you is if you want the full video of how to make a Swahili video, to make your simple Swahili sentences, I do have an 18-minute video that if you're interested in, I will give it to you free of charge. Just comment below or send me a DM and I'll be happy to talk to you. I hope you found this video useful, and I hope to see your comments below to see how best I can serve you. Kwaheri.